this video, we're going to be discussing the Soundback button, the recording button, and the training areas of the HD-300. Let's jump into the Soundback button first. This is an incredibly exciting development when it comes to individual corrections made in rehearsal. So let's begin with a real-world scenario. Let's say that you're going down the line in the trombone section, and there are parts split between first, second, and third trombone. The third trombones are playing a B flat, the second trombones are playing a D natural, and the first are playing an F. When you think through that, you know that you want the B flat to be perfectly in tune, the D to be lowered a bit, and the concert F to be raised just a bit. We have our guest trombonist here, Wyatt, and he's going to show you a little bit about how this works. We're going to start by reaching over and pressing the Soundback button. Once we press the Soundback button, we can go ahead and set it into pure temperament, and we'll set it automatically into concert B flat. Now that we're set to go, it's going to go ahead and play it back as we go. So, Wyatt, we're going to begin with your B flat. Next, we're going to move to your D. And then we'll hear you play concert F. And you can hear Wyatt making all those small adjustments inside of that. The good news is that this works inside of pure temperament without you having to use the keyboard and be over here manning the keys all the time. So much of what you can now do is watch the performer. You can see them in the space. You can look at their embouchure, their hand position, their breathing, and assess how they're playing in tune, what makes it in tune or what makes it out of tune, and how we can adjust from there. So it's our hope that this is a tool that really helps you move forward with how you use the harmony director in rehearsal, no longer having to press every single key, but simply clicking Soundback, being in the right key, and letting the performer give you the feedback that you need.
Next, we're going to talk about the recording function. This is a game changer. Many of us connect our harmony director into the PA system in the band hall. We use it to make sure the metronome is audible and that students can hear pitches and chords that we model through the harmony director. Now, on the HD-300, we have a built-in microphone, or you can use your own USB microphone. You can record the ensemble or any individual or a section and play it immediately back for the students. Before the HD-300, you maybe had a small digital recorder you would use to record the ensemble to listen back, often maybe on your own time for the purpose of making rehearsal notes. But now you can just click record and have the ensemble play, say, the opening of a march, and then you can immediately play it back for them in class for evaluation. As well, these recordings are saved onto any commercially available USB flash drive. So if you'd like to record the entire piece, you can do that and then go back through and listen to it as you get into your lesson planning. There's even a time shift feature that allows you to pre-record just a few seconds before you press the button. Perhaps you have a complicated count-in with asymmetrical meter, and you want to make sure that you get that count-in just right and then go back and click the record button. Or perhaps you just want to record a few seconds of something. You can get a little bit of a lead-in as that solo starts, for instance, if you want to play that back for the student to give him or her some feedback. So let's dig into the recording feature for a second. I'm going to use the internal microphone for our purposes today so that you can hear the recording quality that you can get from the Harmony Director 300. It's a really good microphone. So Wes is our guest bassoonist today. He's going to play a short excerpt for us so that we can hear exactly what the microphone sounds like. We're going to turn over to the keyboard, and all we have to do is press the record button. How about if we wanted to record Wes with the metronome? We could actually go through and do that and have him listen to himself play right with the metronome to figure out alignment-wise where he stands. So let's try that. We're going to turn over to the metronome feature, and we're going to set it to 120, which is his 8th note, and we're going to go ahead and start it and listen to him play with the metronome. Lastly, what if we wanted to have Wes play with the metronome and the drone? Exactly what would that sound like? Well, we know that he's in A minor, so we can start the drone. And then from there, we can go ahead and start our metronome and have him play. Lastly, as I mentioned earlier, perhaps in Friday in a rehearsal, when you want to get a recording of the group, you can just click the record function and let it run throughout your rehearsal so that you can listen to it and hear how your students are doing as you do your lesson planning for the next week. Now, what about rhythm style and rhythm training? The new rhythm style button takes the HD-300 where the HD-200 hasn't quite been yet. We can choose from a variety of metronome styles that utilize real percussion sounds to help our ensembles. Some of the choices include 8-beat, 16-beat, swing, march, 6/8 march, waltz, samba, and bossa nova. A great quarter note triplet tool is included as well. And any and all of these can be used to help students grasp the style requirements of, for instance, a 6/8 march, especially if you're rehearsing perhaps just one of your wind sections. Maybe you're just working with your clarinets that day and your percussionists aren't in the room. Let's take a listen to a few of the rhythm style and training options available. As we go over here, we're going to click the training button, and then as we dive in, we're going to choose rhythm style, and then we can listen to each one as we go. We'll start with the 8-beat. And then the 16-beat. The swing. And then the march. There's also a 6/8 march. I think this tool will probably be one of my go-tos with the ensemble in terms of aligning triplets. And finally, as I mentioned in my other video, you can record any pattern you want, either by creating a file in a music writing software and exporting the MIDI, or simply by playing the pattern on the keyboard using the side stick sounds and then recording it on the USB drive. This is important when we think about aligning multiple class periods maybe on a ritardando, on an accelerando, to make sure that with the marching band, everybody has the same understanding of what that pace is like, to have those tempo alterations already recorded in. Thank you again for joining me today as we talk about the HD-300. There are a number of exciting developments on this new keyboard, and I hope that you'll consider making it a part of your daily rehearsals in your program. I think the metronome and rhythm training areas of the HD-300 are great improvements that will help programs grow better individual musicians and better ensembles.